studios, it's the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show with host Coach Darold D Williams. Wildcats, let's flip the switch and do this. Welcome to another week of the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. I'm your host, Coach Darold Williams, here with my co-host, Mr. Ralph Smith, and Mr. Dieselman CC Cruse. We'll go right into it. Ralph, how is your week going? What are you looking forward to this
Coach,
week?
so far, it's been a wonderful week. I'm celebrating a one-game winning streak, and I'm saying, Hill Wildcats, let's go.
Hail Wildcats, let's go. That's definitely what we are celebrating, and looking for our guys to go into Prairie View for their homecoming and knock those guys off there in Prairie View. Hey, CC, how's it going? Mr. Jana King.
Yes, everything is well. Having a great week. We're 1-0, and I'm looking forward to us going 2-0. So hoping we can go down to Texas and make a big splash.
Gotcha. Hey, CC, I know Mr. Wesley is not sitting there. Can you turn that chair around? I know you're used to him turning to you so you can hit his leg and everything, but hopefully Larry will be here.
Here we go.
Larry will be here soon, man. But you had a good week so far, CC?
I did. All is well.
All is well. Busy week for you?
Very busy week. Always something to do.
It's definitely always something to do. Always something to do. How were you greeted when you first got here to Daytona this evening?
Well, I was greeted.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean these loud outbursts.
I was somewhat greeted by you.
Somewhat.
My partner over to the right. He was nowhere to be found, so it was somewhat of a greeting. But I did see some football practice, and I did like what I saw. So hopefully, things looking up.
Definitely, hopefully things will look up. Vigoration, that we saw at practice, and we'll definitely cover that lately.
Definitely.
We think we know where some of that came from,
right.
But we'll definitely see here. All right, that'll take us right into our SWAC week recap. First up, Texas Southern goes to Alcorn State. Final score of that game, Texas Southern 34, Alcorn 27. Surprises?
Well, it's a little bit of a surprise, but Texas Southern has a good ball club. So you can look at the score and tell that it was very competitive. But I was not expecting Alcorn to lose their homecoming.
Definitely.
I didn't think so.
There was it was, as we said during the show last week, there was tons of homecomings going on up in that area, and two of the three teams took an L for their homecoming. So.
Yeah, but I think also Alcorn is going through a lot of turmoil, at this time as well. So maybe a lot of that had something to do with it as well.
Is it surprising, even with that turmoil, they put up 27 points against a decent Texas Southern team?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is. I didn't expect them to score that many points, to be honest.
Right.
Which team? Alcorn or Texas Southern?
Alcorn. Alcorn. I mean, Texas Southern, they are a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Campbell at Jackson State. Final score of that game, Jackson State 22, Campbell 14.
Now, that's. I would say that's a great win for the SWAC. I mean, after Campbell had gone into North Carolina Central and handled them pretty easily.
Right. Go ahead.
So I was looking. The game was as close as I thought it was going to be. I didn't know really who was going to win that game, but it's a good win for the SWAC conference.
Definitely a good win for the SWAC conference. Great game, Coach Prime and then Coach Menor, two NFL greats there, battling against each other. in a heated contest. A lot of respect.
On both sides.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so on both sides. Really, I saw a lot of people speaking on how Campbell was coached and not just coached. You know, if they knocked somebody down on Jackson State side, they were picking those guys up. You know, helping them up. You know, shoulder pads got messed up.
That's good
Let's
coaching.
readjust. It is.
That's
it
coaching.
Is.
And being in control of the team.
Right.
Instead of the team being in control of you.
There you go.
I think they call that discipline.
They very much so. That's what it is. And you can have discipline in football, right?
All right.
Yeah. So then we have our Wildcats go to the Mississippi Valley State. Final score of that game, our Wildcats 45, Mississippi Valley State 35, and we'll come back and cover that here shortly. Next up, Prairie View goes into Lamar and wears them out. Final score 54 for Prairie View, Lamar 21.
To me, that's surprising. I mean, that has surprise all written over that game. I definitely thought the game would be closer, but I had Lamar up by 7. So
Yeah, but Lamar having a down year though. I mean, ordinarily they have a pretty good football team, but this is not one of their good years. Again, I think that's another good win for the SWAC conference.
Yeah.
Somebody over here says he heard somebody like throwing shade. You know, I think it was about the discipline thing, but we'll move on. Virginia Lynchburg goes to Southern. Final score of that game: Southern 51, Virginia Lynchburg 7.
No surprise there.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you're playing the NAIAT. You're supposed to dominate.
You said somebody said something about discipline.
No, it was throwing shade. Ralph said something about discipline.
Yeah.
And then the other person said he
Yeah.
thought they were throwing shade.
Yeah. The other person's about right. Yeah.
Was it shade or hands? Okay, we'll move right along. That'll take us into our Pro First Sports SWAC week schedule and rankings. This weekend coming up, Mississippi Veteran Memorial Stadium there in Jackson, Mississippi. The game day game. ESPN Game Day will be on location. I think they arrived this evening. The bus did for game day. Southern at Jackson State. That's a 2 p.m. Kickoff there. Thoughts?
I expect a good game, man. I think Southern gonna hang in there with them.
Jackson State by 14.
Jackson State by 14. All right. That game can be seen on ESPN3. Lincoln University goes to Texas Southern. That game will also be in Houston.
Texas Southern by 50.
It might be. It's Texas Southern's homecoming, I believe. Right?
Who's Texas Southern playing now?
Lincoln University out of California.
So they play two NAI schools in a row. I mean,
I'm sure they give the money away.
I'm sure they're getting ready for A&M.
Again, Texas Southern by 50.
Exactly. Yeah.
Alcorn State at Grambling. They're in Grambling, Louisiana. That kickoff's 3 p.m.
I think Alcorn can get past Grambling.
You think so?
I think so.
All right.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Our Wildcats travel to Prairie View A&M. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. They're in Prairie View, Texas. It's their homecoming. We'll come back and cover that game shortly. Alabama A&M goes to Alabama State, the Battle of the Alabamas.
Magic City Classic.
3:30 p.m. kickoff.
Alabama State will win that one by 10.
Ralph really throwing out these numbers today, isn't he?
Hey, he's standing up.
Somebody got to do it.
Ooh, okay, Ralph.
Hey.
He's standing up for his defensive coordinator over there at Alabama State.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Get him warmed up to
He's
put him cold next week.
He's a
huh?
Wildcat.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Then homecoming in Tallahassee. Arkansas Pine Bluff goes into Bragg Stadium. That kickoff is a 4 p.m. kickoff for FAMU homecoming.
Yeah, FAMU by 17 on that one.
17?
Oh, so now you picking up.
Yeah, I'd take that one.
All right.
We'll agree with you. Until
That
the
rounds.
Till the score come out.
Right. That'll wrap up our SWAC week schedule, and that'll take us into our FCS computer rankings for the SWAC. Coming in at number 5, Jackson State. They were previously number 9. They're ranked pretty high in FCS football. I think number 5, I believe. Yeah, 5. FAMU comes in at number 17. They were previously 26. Southern University comes in at 39, previously 31. Alabama State at 51. They were previously 49. Prairie View A&M comes in at 53. They were previously 50. Texas Southern comes in at 56. They were previously 61. Alabama A&M comes in at 62. They were previously 69. Alcorn State comes in at 75. They were previously 53. And then the good guys of Bethune-Cookman come in at 93. We were previously 112. All right? Moving on up. Arkansas Pine Bluff comes in at 98. They were previously 96. Grambling State comes in at 107, previously 109. And then Mississippi Valley State comes in at 121. They were previously 107. Any surprises there? I don't think there's.
No, I don't think it's
any surprises in power rankings.
No.
Yeah.
You know, how much stock do you put in power rankings?
About as much as you put in statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they made to lie?
They just make a fool out of you. That's what statistic does.
All right. Then we have our SWAC football standings. In the East, Jackson State comes in the conference 4-0 overall. They're 7-0. FAMU comes in at 3-1 overall. They're 5-2. Alabama A&M comes in at 3-1 overall, 3-4. Alabama State comes in at 2-2 overall. They're 4-3. Our Wildcats come in at 2-2 in the conference, 2-5 overall. Mississippi Valley State comes in 0-5. They're 0-8 overall. In the West, Southern comes in at 3-1 overall. They're 5-2. Prairie View comes in at 3-1 overall. They're 4-3. Texas Southern 3-2 in the conference, 3-4 overall. Alcorn State comes in at 2-2 in the conference, 3-4 overall. Arkansas Pine Bluff comes in at 0-4, 2-5 overall. And Grambling State rounds it out in the West, 0-4. They are 1-6 overall. Moving right along, and we're breezing through. breezing through. So, guys, our Wildcats go into Itta Bena, Mississippi this weekend. I had to take a roundabout way to get into Itta Bena. Flew into Memphis, had to stay in Memphis because of all the homecomings that were occurring in Mississippi this past weekend. It was, and I hate to use the word slugfest, but we're speaking mostly on the field during the game. Just a natural offensive slugfest. Our Wildcats come out victorious 45-35 in that contest.
I'm glad, I'm hopeful we didn't get any ankle springs from that field. That's number one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you'd hope your guys play on a better surface than that.
Yeah.
Everyone's not fortunate. It's not to knock those guys because we've known that field has been like that for some time. But we're all right. I leg wise, foot wise, we're all right coming out of that contest. I think some other bruises and bumps and things of that nature resulted from it. Kamar Averett, he took a helmet to the back, but he's all right. Some of our running backs got beat up a little bit, but they're all right. It's the game of football, so
right.
We're there to overcome it. Wildcats go into Itta Bena, Mississippi. First play from scrimmage, we get in the hole. Long pass, 29-yard pass. First play from scrimmage. We go down 7-0 after the extra point. Then they were marching again. All right, we get the ball back. We can't do anything with it. They were marching again. and then Mr. Omari Hill Robinson
Right.
takes off for a 97-yard pick six.
Oh, yeah.
97-yard pick six. It was, I think it was rough all around. The Hill Wildcats group, we had a watch party out at Buffalo Wild Wings, and when we first got there, we had reserved the area, and that area was obviously taken because they were having, MMA in Dubai. So
Yeah.
everything started off bad that day, that time. And
But it's two things, good and bad. We've always said from the beginning of the season, in order for us to win, we got to score over 40 points.
definitely.
My concern is this, though. Yes, I'm celebrating the win because we really needed that win. But my concern is we let a team that averaged 8.8 points a game put up 35 against us.
And a lot of that was, and there we go again, talking about stats, and we'll cover it here shortly. But as we read, they were not known for passing.
Right.
And that's what they did against us.
Yes.
And that's why I was concerned.
And most of it was done in the first half.
Yes.
And then coming out in the second half,
We changed defense.
You went to a 3-man front.
Right.
You keyed the quarterback. That quarterback, was the number one player in JUCO.
Right.
We keyed the quarterback, and that changed a lot of stuff.
Right.
But
You had a spy. We'll say you had a spy on it.
But see, my point, though, I felt that change should have been made somewhere in the first quarter, maybe the beginning of the second quarter.
I agree.
Because I think they had done a pretty good job of scouting us.
They did do a good job of scouting us. But let me ask you this. If we made that change that early, would they have changed to the running game? We go to the 3-man front. I guess you could always switch back to the 4-2-5, but their bread and butter was on the ground.
Right.
So
Yeah. I mean, we helped them look good.
yeah,
We
definitely.
helped them look good. I mean, I still don't think that you could have a QB that turns the ball over the way we turn the ball over.
You can't.
You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem. I'm not saying that's all of the problem, because I think that we're young on defense, but we have a lot of talent. I'm not quite sure if we all the time put them in the right position to play good football. That's what my concern is.
For you, Ralph, what would be, and I'm just asking, what would be a great position to have those guys in? What do you see that's
Putting them in the right
From Saturday's
defense.
game.
Put them in the right defense to make the play. And understanding, and you get that from understanding what the other team is trying to do to you.
early on we lost a lot of contain.
Yes.
And, I remember us sitting there and I'm like, man, the wide side of the field's wide open over there, and the quarterback's going to take off running. We
That's
got to
exactly what he did.
That's
That's exactly what he did. I mean, we show up up front, and we stay in whatever we in. We stay in it.
Right.
We don't adjust. We just stay in it.
But with that being said, I feel like again, we're armchair quarterbacks. Let me say that. But
You are.
Yeah, you are too, and especially this one over here.
this one. That guy has
Who
a
is
name.
this
No,
one?
I don't know his
Who
name.
is this one?
But
You talking about the vacant chair?
No.
The vacant chair guy.
Not him. not him. Not him.
He'll take up for him all the time.
Not him.
That's right. That's your frat brother.
But yes, he is.
Oh,
But with that being said, I still believe we have the athletes to run man to man. I haven't seen enough of that, and I really do, and I think that will take care of a lot of our problems, unless it's something that I'm just not seeing, from the stands. I say that.
But if you're gonna go man to man, though, your defensive line got to be motoring.
They got correct.
I mean,
But we did that first touchdown was man.
it sure was.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not gonna say the guy who was manning him, but
yeah. But I still would like to see us in more man to man. Yeah, I know that first touch. I get it. But I think we have some quality players on that backside. I really do.
Yeah, but I agree with you, first of all. But what make your defensive backs great is a good defensive line.
I agree.
That's what make them great.
I agree with that. We got to get a push.
A lot of good friends of mine, but Stevie Baggs and Mr. Rasheem Mathis.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you force the turnovers for your your secondary, and both of us get to eat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But again, they did score 35 points against us.
Right.
And I think they scored 32 many.
Yeah.
We did make adjustments on the defensive side of the ball as well.
We did, but they still scored 35 points.
I get that. I get that piece. I get that.
We come out in the second quarter with an 87-yard drive. Terry Lindsay cashes it in, his first touchdown of his Wildcat career. Then Mr. Riley heats up, takes it in for the 2-point conversion.
Right.
And a little razzle-dazzle. We take the lead 14-7.
Let me ask you a question, though, while you covering that. Now, I know we've done some things that everybody scratches their head, but what was the purpose of having an onside kick at that junction that they had the onside kick? What was? Did we think we were going to catch him sleeping? Because they almost ran that back for a touchdown.
That's not the first time they've done that.
I would say that it was done to keep the spark for your team, but it could also, what you did, have a negative effect that,
The spark.
Yeah. I mean, you're up 21-7.
Yeah.
And, you come back out.
What you need to spark, though?
Yeah, that's right.
Because you might see it on the sideline. We're up 21-7.
Why don't we just play solid football?
That's your spark.
But this is the thing. I mean, can you play solid football?
We was up 21-7.
Right.
Could you hold it, though? Which you didn't.
We was up 21-7. And we got there by playing solid football, not doing stuff that didn't make sense.
Oh, I'm not saying I would have called it.
I remember at Alabama A&M, we just scored, and the score was 21-20. If we go ahead and take the 1 point,
it's a tie ball game.
And we go into half tied.
Right. With the momentum.
But we try a gadget 2-point play that failed miserably. Why did we have to go for 2? Same reason I'm asking, why did we kick the onside kick? The beginning
most coaches
of the third
do
quarter.
Most coaches do it to keep a fire alive or get that spark.
Well, I'm not.
And you gamble. I mean, it's a gamble.
It's a gamble. Yeah, it's a gamble. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
I remember Morgan State did that to us at home, and Poole almost ran it in for a touchdown.
Yes.
Oh, he ran it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
It's a risk. And, it's not like we are 6-1.
Well, see, and this is the thing, like you said, we we do that, and those guys drive it down. Well, they didn't have that far to drive, but it goes 21-14, right?
21-14.
So then we got to come back, and you got to bring your Air Force out, right? Yeah. Jalen Jones, or his 23-yard bomb to Marcus Riley. We're up 28-14. Okay, you know.
Right.
You gambled, you lost. They scored. Then you came back and got, you recovered from that. All right?
Yeah.
Then they go on a 33-yard touchdown drive. And the score is now 28-21. So, even though you're right that you're wrong, then you let it come back and go still the other way again. So now, you're in a dogfight of your life.
Exactly. With the 0-16.
Yeah. Well, Larry Wesley, how do you feel? Oh, he's not here. Well, at the end of the day,
this is my thing, man. And I'm moving ahead. So you come back, Darnell Dees takes it the distance, right?
Right.
You're jumping for joy. You're happy. You're back. You're still in control of the game, but you're further in control because a kickoff return breaks your back.
Right.
Then you turn around and kick it off to them, and they do the same thing to you. The same thing to you, and so now you're back in trading blows, basically.
Right.
All right.
I mean, a team is sitting there with you, neck and neck, and you should be actually blowing them off the mat, and you keep letting them back in.
Then those guys come back and bring the game to within 3 points.
That's right.
After, back to what Ralph said, you're up 21-7.
Right. It shouldn't have even been close. The game shouldn't have been close.
How do you let that happen?
Gadget plays. I mean, you got a defense. You don't make the right adjustments. You got a defensive back that getting beaten like a drum, and you leave him in the game for what reason? I don't know why, but you leave him in there.
The whole drive.
He getting beat like a drum. And nobody sees that, but the fans. We see it, but I guess the defensive coordinator doesn't see that. We just let them back in.
We go score another touchdown with Quayshawn Bird, and then Devontae Hampton picks it off to pretty much end the game. Kudos to Amari Hill Robinson. That pick six interception, he leads the SWAC with 4 at this time. Yeah. And he tied his last season total, so right. Big ups to him.
But the one thing we must say though, that tight end,
yes,
on the one that Kayshawn
85, number 85, yeah, great block, great blocks,
one of the best blocks I've seen thrown all year.
Definitely,
he sealed him.
Definitely so.
Larry Wesley.
So our 45 points is the highest scoring effort since September 8th, 2018. Almost a foregone notion. You scored 48 points or 45 points. We put up 79 against Virginia Lynchburg to close that one out. So.
Again, and we've all talked about this. I think that we have the talent. The talent is young.
Right.
They're young, but they got talent. And I just think, especially on the defense, we got a lot of go-getters. We just got to make sure that we put them in positions to make plays. That's just my opinion.
We have one of our avid fans. This is why I disagree when Sim said we play Wildcat football, because Wildcat football dominates the game.
They dominate. He's right. I'm not quite sure what Wildcat football coach is talking about. Because a team like that, the old Wildcats would have just buried them.
Oh, yeah.
We'd have been playing our second and third.
Yeah, definitely.
And starting at the half.
Definitely.
And we're sitting there slugging it out with them.
Yeah.
No business slugging it out with them. But anyway.
Our statistics for this past week's game, you had Bethune-Cookman finished with a total yards of 500 yards. Valley finished with 421 yards. That's never good.
How many yards Valley had?
421 total yards.
Man. See? They had their personal best against us.
They
right?
did. They did. Passing yards, Bethune-Cookman 274, Valley 218, and then rushing yards, BCU 226, Valley 203. Penalty yards, Bethune-Cookman 6 penalties for 72 yards. We brought it down a little bit. Valley 9 penalties for 145 yards. When you look at it, that's an undisciplined team.
Yeah, but can we just talk about that for a second? Though?
Sure.
If you look at the way the SWAC calls the game, though, at almost every play you were saying, oh, God, please don't let it be a penalty. And even when they called the penalty, the people on the left side of the field, referees, don't agree with the referees on the right side of the field. So you got this crew who can't even work together, and they just what was that? How many total penalties did they call?
15.
I mean,
between the two teams,
probably 5 of those should never have been penalties.
Yeah.
I guess.
And there were some that weren't penalties.
I mean, exactly. When the guy collared the quarterback and slung him, they call it a penalty. Some guy on the other side of the field say, oh, no, he didn't actually have his collar.
First downs, Bethune-Cookman 22, Valley 23. Third downs, Bethune-Cookman 5 for 13, Valley 5 for 14. Fourth down conversions, Bethune-Cookman 0 for 2, Valley 2 for 3. Total time of possession, Bethune-Cookman 28 minutes, 27 seconds, and Valley 31 minutes, 33 seconds. Final score of that game, Bethune-Cookman 45, Valley 35.
Did that score shock you?
I mean, yeah. Knowing our team, yeah. And kudos to Valley. I mean, to continue fighting, when you're 0, what have you, 0-7, I think at that time or something.
Right.
And they kept fighting. So,
I think it would be remiss if we don't let our main man have a say on this game we just played.
There we go.
Mr. Wesley, welcome to the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. How's it going, sir?
Everybody's looking for Mr. Wesley.
Don't start. I was slightly detained. I had a compromised tire that was going flat. So I called AAA and told them what was going on. Still had to wait 30 minutes to get that done. So I do apologize, but I would have been probably not much worse for wear if I had not called them. But that being said, listening to y'all in the car, I said, so now, let me get in here to help see.
I appreciate you, Larry.
I said,
Did you attempt to call him to come help you with your tie? You would have been an hour.
mailbox was full.
Larry, you're supposed to be helping, Larry.
We understand that part.
Larry, that's a little extra diesel. I can't come help you.
He's a busy man.
Of course he is.
He doesn't specialize in it.
He had to have his brownie and ice cream, so please forgive him.
I understand. Guys, I thought you all did a wonderful job, talking about this football game. It was interesting. Sometimes you watch a game, and in this day and age with social media, it was so interesting to watch the comments of the game as it was unfolding. And it started off, nobody was really going to cover the game, as it got going. But as the scoring picked up, more people began to weigh in. And some guys said, man, this game is turning out to be a pretty good football game. They're scoring left and right. Nobody brought their defense, but in the second half. But it was really a game that featured what we're going to have to do, what we said we're going to have to do. It was outscore everyone.
You got outscore.
And essentially, that's what happened. There were a lot of questionable decisions made in the game, as there are perhaps a lot of times in games. But the one that really sort of had me puzzled and talking to the TV and the computer was when the game got to 38-35, and we were trying to hold on. We recovered the onside kick. It was literally under a minute to go in the game, and I kept asking, why are we running plays?
Right.
Why not take a knee, and just get out of here?
Right.
What does that extra touchdown do for you in the game versus all the possibilities of what could have gone wrong if we have a fumble or something? As it turned out, well for the Wildcats, but still not what I would consider a really good decision teams out of timeouts. You made them use all their timeouts, and after you had expended their timeouts, now take a knee, and ball game's over.
Right.
But we got a couple of pushes there. Got a great block by our backup tight end to seal the edge, and Bird took it in. Looks good on the stat sheet, but again, you got to scratch your head a little bit. I heard you talking about some of the questionable decisions we're making, and we see that throughout the game.
Exactly.
In one of the three phases of the game, we sort of see that, and just happy to get the W. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but again, coaching is teaching, and you have to sometimes wonder, what was going through the coaching staff mind at that point in time. But all in all, an exciting game. Never should have been that close. I thought. I thought we were at least 2 to 3 touchdowns better, and I thought we were going to really do well going into halftime, holding down to 1 touchdown. I never saw us. Well, I never would have thought. And then I scratched my head and said, "Wait a minute, okay, it doesn't take a lot." And sure enough, Valley came out and looked like world beaters.
But the interesting thing, and you just made a point there, and I just want to bring this up. The interesting thing that I saw in that game, it looked like we don't have just one game plan. It looked like everybody have their own game plan. Like the defensive coordinator, they got a game plan, and he's not telling anybody else. The special teams guy, like he got a game plan. He ain't telling anybody. You know what I mean? It just looked like they're not all on the same court. Like they all individuals and doing individual stuff.
So the headset's not working. Basically,
apparently not.
I mean, that's good.
I don't know whether we talked about this. I think in practice this week, I was just concerned with how long it took us to make the adjustment to spy the quarterback.
Right. We talked about
that. Exactly.
This ball club runs.
Right.
And that you got to account for the running back because he's a beast. He led the conference in rushing last year, and he's a stud football player. But then you cannot allow the quarterback to get going. And as soon as we sort of made the spy deal to put someone on him, when he decided to break containment, then we were able to contain him a little bit better. But it took so long to get to that.
Exactly.
And that goes to what Ralph was saying. It's like we're not cohesive.
Nope.
Right.
As a coaching staff in making our decisions, so that it's a domino effect. Everything. It's 11 guys out there. They're playing in concert.
Right.
But if you're being hurt by one guy, in this instance, it was the quarterback, and nothing against the kid. He wasn't a great athlete. He had a great game against us.
Well, that field kind of slowed him down too, though.
Oh yeah. Well,
that field slowed him down.
I tell you, you guys made a wonderful decision. avoiding. I know we were putting hard for the Wildcats, but let me tell you, if that didn't give you the feeling of playing in a cow pasture, it's a nice place. There's nothing to do out there at Abena, but go to school. Everybody on 4.0 out there.
Well, should have a lot of scientists coming out of there.
Oh yeah,
no doubt about it.
We'll go to a quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll talk more Wildcat football. You're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show.
See, if you...
WAIGLP, Daytona Beach, Joy, 106.3.
Styles 101 Beauty Salon and Barbershop, located at 955 Orange Avenue in Daytona Beach, is a salon for all your hair care needs. Styles 101 specializes in hair extensions, shortcuts, the natural look, hair coloring, locks, lock extensions and repair, and braids. They also offer nail, eyebrow, and eyelash services. Styles 101 is the local shop for Bethune Cookman University, Embry-Riddle, and Daytona State College. For more information or to schedule an appointment, 386-872-6413. That's 386-872-6413. Styles 101 Beauty Salon and Barbershop.
Tune in to Daytona Beach Radio with your host, the Reverend Dr. L. Ronald Durham. This is the city's most exciting news and information program here on Joy 106.3. every Wednesday beginning at 12 noon. Don't miss it.
Speak the word, speak the word, speak the word. The eternal, infallible word.
Praise God today. We will be bringing to you Speak Bible on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Myself, Elder Evangelist Mingo, with Minister Dudley. Amen.
Speak the word, speak the word, speak the word.
Special thanks and support to WAIG comes from R.J. Gaines Funeral Home, where Alexander C. Wynn III, licensed funeral director and owner. R.J. Gaines Funeral Home provides full burial services, entombment, cremation, transporting services, pre-planning arrangements, and consultations. R.J. Gaines Funeral Home is located at 804 Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard. R.J. Gaines Funeral Home, 386-253-7686.
We're back here on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show with Coach Darold Williams, co-host Ralph Smith, the professor, Mr. Larry Wesley, and that diesel guy, Mr. CC Cruse. Guys, we're talking Mississippi Valley versus Bethune-Cookman. That'll take us right into our position grades. We'll get that knocked out of the way. All right, here we go, guys. Quarterback play. Ralph.
C.
Mr. Wesley.
I would go, and I'm being very benevolent. I would go C minus, and it's hard because I see D in my eyes, but I would go C minus.
For me, I'll say a C.
All right, running back play.
B. And only because of the new running back.
Terry Lindsay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No question about it. I would. I still didn't think we saw enough of him, but I would definitely go a B in that regard as well.
Yeah, across the board for me as well, a B. Lindsay made a big impact.
All right. Let's go wide receivers.
I'm going to give him a B, too.
You finally saw Marcus Riley and,
Ellington.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll give him a C plus. Still got some crucial drops. It's who you target, okay?
Right.
And we're not good enough to be dropping balls because we cannot make first down.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
So that's why I came up with that.
Yeah. I'm on a C for them.
Offensive line.
Oh boy, much improved. I'm gonna have to give him a C. It's a hard C, but man, much improved. Much improved.
Mr. Wesley.
I would agree. We thought going in that would be
right. We see better.
Yeah,
right.
We definitely did see Coach Pearson's effect being there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And those guys got after it pretty good against a very aggressive Mississippi Valley Ball Club.
Exactly.
So I would have to go.
That just shows you the difference that a coach makes.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And it's actually C across the board. I totally agree with you.
Yep.
And I think we counted the tight ends in the wide receivers, right?
Receiver,
okay.
Yeah,
all right.
much, yeah.
Let's go to overall offense.
I'm gonna give them a C. I'm gonna give them a C because I think they could have done better. I think they could have held on to the ball a lot better. I actually think we should have ran the ball more, but I'm gonna give them a C.
All right.
I'll stay consistent there. My concern, as I've watched this ball club throughout the year, but again, we can get the 3rd and 5s, but we're not efficient.
Right.
And a lot of that is our quarterback play. We're in positions to get the first down, but we bust a lot of drives.
Yes.
That
Bust
we should
a
not
lot
be.
of drives.
We bust a lot that we should be, getting 1st and 10s on.
Yep.
So I'll stay with Ralph. I'm in a benevolent. Maybe this is my pre-holiday mood I'm in tonight.
I'll stay consistent, Ralph. C across the board as well.
Did you do that because Larry said it?
Well, no, not because Larry.
Not all the way because Larry said it.
Larry said that. I don't really believe. No.
Oh boy.
No. All right, defensive side of the ball, D-line.
I'm going to give them a D.
Actually, I think I'll give them a C- because as small as we are, we held up pretty well. We really did against the run. We bent.
Right,
we didn't break. And I know that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to run the football, and so I thought we were formidable there. So I'll go with a C- on that.
I'm looking for a whole lot more, so I got to hang a D on them right now until this week.
All right. Linebacker core.
See, now my grade with the linebacker is going to be mixed because me personally,
yes, sir,
I think we have the talent there.
Right.
I think we lacking something else there, and I'm not going to say it, but I think it's pretty apparent what we're lacking there because we have the talent. We absolutely have the talent at that position.
Well,
I'm going to hang a C on it.
What we're lacking, sir? I'd like to know
he said he wasn't going to say it.
No, no. This is a no bars whole show. No.
You don't decide that for Ralph.
Yeah, yes, I do.
So now.
Hey, look, he can't even get it out.
I'm not buying the diesel fuel. You know what? Y'all had softened me up, and I was going to buy diesel fuel. I ain't buying the diesel fuel. I'm sorry.
That man said he won't even buy you a half brownie sundae.
No. We do have some talent at the linebacker spot, and I'm a little bit like Ralph too. I see a room for a lot more improvement, and I think a lot of that can be determined by effort. You get to the play, make a play. A lot of times we're grabbing rather than wrapping up and tackling, but we're starting to get a better style of play for one particular player in particular, Jamon Eford.
Yeah.
He's really stepped his game
Oh,
up.
absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
He's playing like the player we thought he was going to be.
Yep.
Right.
Because we put him in the right position.
Right.
to make
Exactly.
plays.
Yep.
Right.
CC?
C for me.
All right. Defensive backfield.
Okay, and I'm only going to give them this grade because of one individual, and I'm not calling any names. I'm giving them a C-. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with a C-.
It's a solid grade, Ralph, because their passing efficiency Saturday was the best probably they've had in 2 years.
Right. Yep, that's right.
And we consistently busted some coverages that we should not have busted. Now getting out of the Corey Rankin is a heck of a receiver for them. He's a really good route runner and he catches the football, but we can play a lot better, there. We still got to get the personnel packages together there. But, I would say that was not nearly one of our better efforts. So I'm a C- with you.
Yeah. I say a solid C for me. There's just so much more I expect, from those guys in that position. So, solid C.
All right. Overall defense.
I say a C-.
Mr. Wesley?
To give up 35 points to a ball club that's averaging 13 points a game, that won't do it. That's a solid D for me. Really won't get it.
Yeah. And usually Kappas always know what's best. I have to go with the D as well. So
Man, let me pull
Why
my
don't
pants.
you just be
I'm gonna pull my pants leg up.
No.
It's getting deep.
Hey,
Why don't you just be CC and stand on your
why,
own?
That's why I'm glad he's here. Because we're trying to hold this show up. So I appreciate.
Yeah, you're holding it up. No, don't speak for Mr. Wesley.
No.
You're holding it up, all right. From being great.
Larry, I'm telling you, man.
I had to
This
get
been
here.
all evening.
I had to get here.
I appreciate you getting here, Larry.
All right. Special teams.
Special teams for me is a D.
Had we not let them, we missed the extra point, right? And then we let them return the kickoff after we return one.
And the
Decision.
vouch.
The decision making.
Yeah, on the
Okay, there we go. There you go.
I clearly.
There you
I
go.
see. It's a mixed bag, but the grade is, so how many times we had a class, where we do well in one phase of the class.
Exactly.
But we can't pass the
What,
test.
what is Sim's favorite words? All phases of the game. All three phases.
Yeah.
That's his favorite word.
Yeah, I'm kind of teetering between a C- and a D, to be honest.
Just give us a grade, bro. Don't teeter.
Well, you didn't say that to Ralph. I mean, you didn't say that to Ralph.
Now all of a sudden he wanted to be treated equal.
This ain't Burger King, bro.
He think he's at McDonald's.
This is my last show.
Yeah, you right about that. you didn't decide that,
though. One of the things that probably one of the greatest special teams players that ever played for Cookman would always say, he says that every time I'm in a conversation with him. I'm speaking of Alvin Wyatt. Alvin Wyatt would always say, I know the impact of special teams on a game because I was a special team star, and he wasn't the only person I've ever known to win Offensive Player of the Year on the defensive side of the football, and never played offense.
Right.
It was just that electric.
Right.
And he would always say this. He said, because I understand the game, I'm not gonna let people beat me in the special game. Now my thing was, as soon as we scored that kickoff with D's, I just had a sensation that said to me, don't kick the ball deep, squib it. Don't give them a chance to make
Right.
After you
to take that momentum right out you.
But again, let's go back to what I was saying. It don't look like they get together saying, okay, how are we going to attack it? One guy is making a decision based on what? Nobody knows.
I didn't feel like just as quickly as these went down there.
It's coming back the other way.
And everybody at that watch party was saying, don't kick it.
Right.
All these women were saying, don't kick it down there.
We don't have a great kick coverage team. We
don't.
So we need to be looking at not kicking deep. A lot of teams now just kicking out of bounds, taking the 35.
Exactly.
But my thing is, you can squib it, because when you squib it, you throw off the return. It gives you a chance to get down there, and they may muff it or whatever. But kick it deep.
We don't think strategic though.
No. And
appears to be no
as
strategic
soon
thing.
as we saw the kick and the return man, you saw
it opened up.
It opened up, you know. And so we got to be better in those situations. We have to mitigate the explosive plays, particularly after we make one.
Yep.
Let's move on, guys. Prairie View scouting report. Prairie View, as we said earlier, beats Lamar 54-21. Prairie View.
And 0-6 Lamar.
Yeah, 0-6 Lamar. Prairie View, 404 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
44 carries. 44 carries on the ground.
So we know what we're going to get. a big
A bloody
dose
nose
of,
if we ain't careful.
Right.
Their running back had 141 yards on 9 attempts
Oh my God.
and 1 touchdown.
Wow.
I wonder.
And then the other running back had 101 on 7 carries.
I wonder, do our defensive staff, if they looked at that, did they start talking among themselves, or each person went to his little corner and thought and start thinking about what he's going to do?
Well, obviously, you got to go back to a 4-man front, and
Oh,
you
of
know,
course.
with the 4-man front, though, I mean, how you slow the quarterback down. You know, you come off the edge. You have your ends protect the edge, right?
You bracket.
And the 2 guys in the middle with the linebacker help, we smashed that right there. You know, it's
Do we think like that though?
no, because I mean the ends. I mean the quarterback from Mississippi Valley was getting outside,
Every
and it
time.
was obvious.
Yep.
You know, until we went to a 3-man front.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be in a 4. We're gonna have to be in an even front this week.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to be in a
definitely.
4.
Definitely.
And we need to keep containment. I hope that we have our gap containment schemes where we fit the gaps with linebackers. I think if we can give some resistance to the run, we might be able to get them off of what they want to do.
Exactly,
What they want to do.
yeah.
But now they're coming in like everybody else to run the football. And apparently, you know, we know Lamar's not that good based on their record, but those are some gaudy numbers that those 2 backs put
Very
up.
much
Yes,
so.
that
Very
is.
much so.
Limited, with limited carries,
Right.
you know, from that standpoint. So it'll be interesting, you know, to see. It's a homecoming game. You know how homecomings are.
Yeah, be hype.
So they'll, you know, we have to weather the storm of the emotion.
Yeah,
early.
that first quarter.
Yeah, that first quarter, we can
Right.
still be in there at the end of the first quarter. We have a chance to do something against them also. With our
Yeah.
Oh, definitely
Yes.
so. Definitely
But,
so.
but a quarterback cannot turn the ball over. Can't do it.
and he needs to extend possessions by making first downs.
Yep.
Prairie View comes in 4-3 overall, 3-1 in the conference. Prairie View points per game, they score 27.43 points per game. On the year, they've scored 192. Their opponents have scored 24.29 for 170 points. As far as other stats for Prairie View, on the ground, they have gained 1,581 yards compared to their opponents' 1,210. For passing, not the best in passing, but we saw that this past weekend, too. Right. They come in 939 yards compared to their opponents' 1,235 yards. Total offense, they come in, they run 448 plays compared to their opponents' 474 plays. Total yards on the season, 2,520, and their opponents' 2,445 yards. So
theoretically, the teams that they're played have matched them with the passing and the running.
Pretty much. Yeah. Penalty yards, they average 49.43 yards and penalties per game compared to their opponents' 57. For a total, they've had 40 penalties, 346 yards on the season compared to their opponents' 45 for 399 yards. Time of possession per game, they hold the ball 29 minutes, 30 seconds. Their opponent, 29-26. So,
well, you know what I'm hoping with the two running backs that we have, and including Bird, I'm saying I start out running the ball against them cats. That's I established that run.
And I think we will. I mean, we're going to have to.
I think so.
I mean, these guys, they can be beat. They are 3-1 in the conference, but they're 4-3 overall.
Right.
They played, and I hate to say it, a subpar Lamar team, but
Didn't they also play Virginia Lynchburg?
Yes, I think a few weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah, they're definitely beatable. I think if we have a balanced attack, I know that our passing attack can cause them problems with the way if we get a good quarterback game, with the way that we distribute the football. But I think the key could be in the running game. If we can find a way to be balanced enough to get 140 yards or so rushing the football. I mean, if Jalen has to use his legs, he has to run. He should not be shying away from the run. I'm certain that this ball club will probably spy him based on what he did against last week.
Yeah.
But we have some. We're banged up at running back, but we've got some. As we've seen during practice, we've got some pieces back there.
Yeah.
That most people have not seen yet.
Exactly.
That can do some damage, and the offensive line needs to play well again, like they did. And I think that they probably will assert themselves capably. But if we're balanced and don't turn the football over, this could shock. We could shock the.
We can get a W on this one.
Yeah.
We very well could do that.
That'll take us into our Alpha One staffing, Bethune Cookman versus Prairie View game plan. Alpha One Staffing, your number one staffing agency. Go to alpha1staffing.com. Also, you're on Joy 106.3 FM, listening to the HillWildcats.com X's and O's show. Guys, you've covered some of the offensive game plan. We are missing some pieces. Some because of injury, some because of extracurricular activity. I know on the offensive side of the ball, as we said, Kamari Averett comes in a little banged up. He's cleared to play, but he comes in a little banged up. We're going to miss one of our wide receivers, I believe, for the next 2 weeks. And one of our sure-handed, receivers. So it's next man up status. Got to step in and.
I think that's where number 3 you're gonna have to step up.
Yeah, not just 3-11. Yeah, we got to play. And I think we got a little bit of depth back, even with those guys out.
I agree.
Full squad.
I agree.
Larry, you had something to say?
When you get this deep in the season and you're a ball club, the likes of what we've had, what we've displayed this year, you start looking for big play effects. And I'm going to call the name of someone that I, had a chance to cover extensively in high school. Saw him in several games for 2 different ball clubs. And he is a game changer. Now, how well we use him, it will not take you long when he touches this football to know that he is definitely a game changer. Now, he's never played offense for us, and I'm talking about Sparrow.
But he looked natural.
He looks natural.
He is fluid, and he is a beast at the running back. He will be. Just one look at him touching that football.
He sees the field.
And he sees it. He runs with reckless abandon. He's got speed. He catches the ball out of the back.
Good size.
Good size. And no one has any tape on this kid.
Right.
No one's seen him, particularly in Maroon and Gold. But, guys, he's the kind of guy that can really put his fingerprints all over this football game.
Yes, definitely.
And that's what I think. That's why I say we got to establish the run because we got people who can run the ball. And I think our offensive line got a new sense of energy. And if they play anything like they played Saturday and just bring it up just another notch, I think we can get the W on this one.
Well, I think the key is this. Everybody's seen tape on Bird. And Bird is a great running back. But this is a ball game for me that he should be featured more in motion in the slot, moving around because they're going to key him. If you put him in motion, they're gonna look
Yeah.
at him
Right.
and slide the coverage his way. That opens up the running game for Terry Lindsay
Right.
and Stephen Sparrow. And I'm telling you, both of those young men, they have the ability not only to run it,
Can't break us.
They can take it to the house.
Yes.
And they have a little
Little
more,
effort.
They have
Right.
a little more wiggle in the run.
Right.
Yes, they do.
Than Quayshawn does. But it'll be interesting to see how we scheme up to use that young man in the offensive attack.
Defensive side of the ball.
We're missing a very, very important plug, but I think we can overcome it.
I would say definitely two definite plugs. One for sure, but two definite. You got one in the front and then one in the back.
Right.
And, with those guys being out, as we said, it's next man up, but,
Well, you probably have more to replace one of them than you have the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But what you aren't going to be able to replace with that one is size.
Yeah.
What they're running attack,
Right.
that's where he comes
You don't
in.
need.
Yeah.
So your linebackers are going to have to step up big time and factor in
Well-
Eford and Lewis and, so.
You're going to have good run fit schemes, like I said.
Right.
And if it means committing some people extra to the box, you want to go ahead and try to do that, because if you can get them off of what they really want to do and not just let
You
them
got a game.
pound you away,
you got a game.
then we could be in this football game. But like I said, it's a perfect balance for what they do well and what we do well. Both ball clubs have the ability to move the football.
Yes.
I was watching Syracuse play Clemson Saturday, and one thing the announcer kept saying, he said, Syracuse is very, very undersized on the defensive line. He said, but they do a lot of stuff, stunts, crosses, twists, move. He said, sometimes they get caught, but most of the time it's very effective.
This is the thing with that. I watched that same game, and Syracuse had Clemson.
They had them.
It was Clemson's homecoming. They had them. If they could have scored every time they touched the ball, that's a blowout game, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately, they let Clemson stay around and win the game. But I see so much of Cookman in Syracuse. So much of Cookman in Syracuse. And you have to use those things, which they use some of it, but when it came down to it, it just wasn't enough. So,
at one point in that game, though, I actually thought they was in Syracuse. The way that game was going,
Right.
I honestly thought they were playing in Syracuse because they was having their way.
Right.
Well,
Definitely.
They for the whole first half, their lines physically whipped Clemson.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
On both sides
They did.
of the line.
They
And
did. I think the depth took over for Clemson after
Yeah,
a while.
probably.
Yeah.
Depth and weight.
Right. Yeah. It did.
Them big boys start leaning on you.
That's a major point for this football game. We cannot leave our defensive football team on the field.
On the field too long. No,
Right.
definitely.
Right.
Not against that
Not.
run attack.
Right.
We got to get off the field on third downs and be helpful. To get a turnover or two there from that standpoint. I don't think you're gonna find anybody throwing at Hill Robinson too much in this game.
No.
Like he's already.
I don't think
given
so.
a good account of his stuff.
He's coming on.
Yeah, he really has. So, return game. That's something that we typically are fairly explosive.
Right.
This ball club is well coached now. Bubba McDowell has done a great job with his staff as a first-year coach, and coaching is a major phase in any football game. So
Got that right.
They don't typically beat themselves. So we'll see how that plays out as well.
Definitely so. And I think CC and I were talking about it earlier today at practice, but there was a revigoration in the football team that I've seen for the last few days. The CC saw it today. there are guys who cannot help us this week, unfortunately, that played their part in practice. And, there was running off the field, there was running on field, there was no walking, no loafing, nothing of that nature. And, that win helped big. Yeah. And, standing up as a team, helped.
That probably helped more than anything. Just be honest.
But I mean, today at practice, even the guys that's not going to help us next week, this week, the spirit was still good. Like they will be playing. So it was just totally different. From the walking on and coming off the field. So hopefully, that'll linger on into this game coming up,
and the next game, and the next game.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm always concerned when you have a block kick or a block punt.
Right.
The next team you play, they see that, and realistically, the block punt that we had, it was on the punt. He held the ball too long.
Right.
He's got to get that ball out of there. You're using the rugby style, Australian style.
Yeah,
but you can't hold it that long.
Right. And guess how we lost last year?
Yeah.
Block field goal.
Yeah, block field goal. And we can't be missing chip shot field goals.
You're right.
And we kick those balls in, because we got to get points everywhere we can.
And we can't be going for two when we should be going for one.
We hope we.
I just wanted to bring that up.
So just so our audience knows, we will be missing 8 players for this contest on Saturday due to
extracurricular activities.
After the game.
Right. But we stood up as a team.
Stood up tall.
All right, we'll leave that right there. 4 key players, but we've covered offense, we covered defense, we covered special teams. This will be our 4th homecoming game. The 5th one will be our own homecoming. It seems this year that you can go into a team's homecoming game and give them a game. Will our guys do that?
We did it against Alabama A&M, and we did it against Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something that we may all be thinking, but don't always say it. To me, you look, we've laid the entire statistics out. This game is going to be decided by coaching. I
agree with you, Larry.
I really believe that's what this game's going to come down. Sometimes you can make some dumb decisions and get away with it. I don't think this is a game that can happen. We got to be really concise in what we're doing from a coaching standpoint, and that game plan needs to be visual for everybody to see going in. We can't look disjointed in our decision making and our play calls, etc. This game, because this is going to be decided. I think both ball clubs really match up well, like I said. So what's going to be the separating factor? It's coaching.
You agree, CC?
Yeah. You have to agree with that. I mean,
why? Because Larry said it?
Because Larry said so. Larry said so.
I don't know why you mess with him like that.
Larry said so.
Well, why do you mess with him like that? He was fine sitting over there.
I really was.
No, he wasn't. He was fine.
But you know what, Ralph? He's getting me back because I give him so much heat off of air. So I get it. I get it.
We want to hear from you. Call in to the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show, 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We are now in our Hill Wildcats live call-in segment. You got something to say about Wildcat football? Speak to the armchair quarterbacks, as CC said. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We want to hear from you. We're talking Wildcat football. Our Wildcats go to Prairie View, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on this Saturday for Prairie View's homecoming.
I say we come back with a W.
Need to.
Can't come back with anything else. Got to get a W.
So what happens if you win this week at Prairie View?
Then we win our homecoming because we're going to be fired up.
I think it gives you the impetus to possibly finish the season on a high note in terms of your effort. And let's be honest, last year's ball club, we're not living in the past, but last year's ball club didn't round into a ball club until the end of the year.
Right, definitely.
We had to play the situations were different. We had to play ourselves into shape and what have you.
What did I say to you earlier, CC?
We got better at the end of the year. We got better at the end of the year. And so we're sort of seeing, particularly if we come back with a W in this one, we see glimpses of the same thing happening, from that perspective. You want to be playing your best ball at the right time. And for us, we didn't do much earlier in the year, and so now we get a victory on hostile environments. We definitely know what it feels like to be at somebody's homecoming, because that's what we always are. So this won't be new to us. It won't be new to us. They have a great fan experience out, in Prairie View. I don't know that people really understand that Prairie View used to be regarded as the Alabama of black college football.
Yeah,
they had Billy Nix as their head coach.
Right.
He was phenomenal. Most people don't even know, because if you look through history, all we ever heard in Florida was the Orange Blossom Classic.
Right. Yes.
It was the signature game. But there was a bowl game played before the Orange Blossom Classic, called the Prairie View Bowl, and 1 year Prairie View played in the Prairie View Bowl was played every January 1st.
Really?
In Prairie View.
Definitely a bowl game.
One year they beat Florida A&M in the Orange Blossom Classic in December, and then played in the Prairie View Bowl and beat somebody else, and they were 12-0. But they had a dynamic
they were that
football operation up under Billy Nix, and so that gets lost because they have had peaks and valleys, more valleys than peaks lately. But it's a great environment on the farm, is what they call it.
Definitely so. Caller, you're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome. Caller?
Hello, how you doing?
Good, sir. How's it going?
Everything good. How about you?
Good. You're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome. Who are we speaking with?
My name is Deshaun Davis.
Oh, Deshaun Davis. That name sounds so familiar to us guys here in the studio. Have you heard that name before, Mr. Cruse?
I have. I seriously have.
You seriously have? Okay. All right. Deshaun, how's it going this evening, sir?
Everything going good. How about yourself?
Good, sir. Number 31 for our Wildcats, Deshaun Davis, on the phone with us. Deshaun, your first year at Bethune Cookman, out on the gridiron with your teammates. How has it been?
It's been a journey so far. Everything been good. We just taking it each day at a time, just out there competing and working.
Definitely out competing and working and knocking people over and things of that nature. we had to get that in. You know what I'm saying? This crew won't tell you to stay up. I know they tell you that at practice, but
yeah, I hear it a lot.
Yes, sir. We know you do. So, Deshaun, I know you've been helping the guys get ready for Prairie View, as you have for the last few weeks with other teams. What's the atmosphere of the team? What's the atmosphere of your teammates right now?
As of now, everybody just focusing on the task at hand, buying in, just trying to take each step to get better and just focus, because we can still come out and balance out the. I know the record not too good after now, but we still got a shot to balance out the record and break it even. And so we're just trying to come together as a team and just win the rest of these games as a team.
Most definitely. Pull it out and do what we need to do to be victorious. CC, what you got to say to Deshaun?
Man, you know, Deshaun is Jacksonville's finest. One of the hardest hitting guys that ever come out. So continue doing what you're doing, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the field.
Ralph, you got anything for Deshaun?
Yeah, I want to see him next Saturday wearing number 31 on the sideline. And we praying for you, brother. We hoping you're going to be there. We got our fingers crossed. Everybody here got a prayer for you because we know you deserve it. You worked hard all year, and we're looking forward to see you wearing the maroon and gold on the field next Saturday.
It's been a long time coming.
Really?
Long time coming. Mr. Wesley, got anything for CC? All right, Deshaun.
I'm ready.
Definitely.
Yeah, it won't be hard to find him. Just look for the collision. He's an impact player and he's a thumper, and we know that. And just seeing him out there, I can almost hear the response right now. Where is this dude?
That's exactly it. Deshaun, all your fan base is listening to you. Is there anything you want to say to the fans in regards to being a player on the team for our Wildcats?
I just want to tell the fans, we'll keep sticking with us. Don't cross us out because it's only going to get better. The storm ain't going to last forever. Right. And we gonna just jump on this train with us, and we gonna take it all the way. Hell Wildcats.
Hell Wildcats. Hey, thanks for calling in, Deshaun, man. We hope to see you next week, and keep on going, brother. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. Anytime. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. Number 31 for our Wildcats, Deshaun Davis, coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. It was asked over here, what's his eligibility status? We hope to see him fully decked out in the maroon and gold come next weekend, homecoming here in Daytona.
He will definitely make a difference.
It's going to be two homecomings. It's going to be Bethune Cookman College homecoming, and it's going to be Deshaun's homecoming.
Right, definitely so.
And we're going to be pulling for him.
Definitely so. I bet you this. When Deshaun starts playing, you will never hear nothing about Diesel ever again. Trust me.
You don't think so? Huh?
No, never again. Never again. You got some Duval shout-outs coming over here in the comments.
Hold you to that.
Hey, look here. I still need this diesel gas. I don't care what y'all say. I still need this diesel gas.
The truck ain't having no part of it.
No, not at all.
Exactly. That's Deshaun pushing.
I'm telling you.
386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We're talking Bethune-Cookman Wildcat football. Our Wildcats go into Prairie View this Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to do battle with the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Ralph, you going out to?
Absolutely. We're leaving Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, man.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Here I come, Papa Doze. Hold it.
Definitely so. A lot of stuff going on. There's quite a few homecomings out in Houston this weekend.
Who else?
Yeah, I believe it's Texas Southern's homecoming and a couple.
It's also
the World Series.
Yeah, the World Series.
Yeah. So busy out there in Houston, and our Wildcats will be out there to take part in it.
Not a very good Bethune-Cookman fan base out there in Texas.
Definitely so. We're looking forward to it. Quite a few things happening out there for our Wildcats, and we know we'll see the Wildcat contingent out there. So that game will be a very good game.
What time is that game?
2 p.m.
Is that Central?
Central, 3 p.m. Yeah.
Is that going to be televised?
I believe so.
HBCU Go.
Again this week.
How can the local people get that?
In Daytona on DirecTV, it is channel 27, and on Spectrum is 206.
Okay.
But the Griot or what have you, it'll be on that channel. Calling you on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Darold, is Willie Jackson. How you doing?
Oh, yeah. Ralph's been waiting for you. Good, Willie. How's it going, sir?
Ralph ain't going to go for 2. That's all I got to tell Ralph.
Hey, let's do one at a time, though. we tried to, Jerry and I tried to share with you last week. We might be a lot of things, but we ain't going to lose to those doggone Delta Delvers. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, you thought about that. I said, boy, Ralph is going to get on me next week. Bro.
Yes, sir. That's right.
But, listening to you guys, if I didn't know no better, I would think Bethune Cookman is going to go for the championship in the next couple of weeks. Because you guys are building them up, which is a good thing. And they need that for a show like this. You guys are keeping the faith up, and I hope everybody else is. Because I know those guys, losing so many games, they need it. So we hope they can win that series.
And that's, I think the main thing is, with us going out to practice, we see the fight that, because, they could give up. They could easily give up, pack it in, and we saw the fight in them against Mississippi Valley. Again, there they could have, cashed it in and just, give Mississippi Valley their first win. But not only in that game, but even after the game in practice and things of that nature, we saw their fight. So we're going to keep on fighting as long as they keep on fighting and have.
Only thing I got to ask Ralph, Ralph he made the statement that, and Larry too, he said, well, this game is going to come down to coaching. I hope not. I hope the players decide. And we'll have advantage. I'm going to be honest with you. I hope the players get out there and play their hearts out and let talent take over from coaching and go ahead and do what they have to do.
Definitely, we hope so. And we won't ask you why you say that. We'll just we'll stick a pin in that right there.
But we do.
But you guys have a good one, and we'll be. I think we're going out to Texas too, so we're going out to Houston and visit my friend Daryl Miles, and we're going to ride out to Paisley from Houston.
All right, it'll be good to see you, Willie. It will definitely be good to see you, man. We've been missing you, and we look forward to seeing you on this Saturday at Prairie View.
I want to run something by you guys. From our team is doing something next week, a reunion, but we're trying to, and you guys be hearing about a Wildcat Forever wall that we're trying to get going.
Okay.
And I hope, we can get every football player from 1920. When did Cookman start playing football, Larry?
1926.
Yeah, I know a lot of people not around, but we just going to try to get a Wildcat wall and put all the names, whoever don the Wildcat uniform on it. So
that'll be great. That'll be great.
To get back in to be competitive.
Definitely so.
We need to step up our game on our end too.
Well, I totally agree with you, because you mentioned earlier that it's good to see us sticking behind the team. I think we also need to stick behind our university, because if we look at the great things Miss Bethune has done and Dr. Moore and Dr. Bronson has done over the last 60 years, we need to continue to support each other, and we need to continue to support the university. Now, I know a lot of things is going on there we don't agree with, but such is life.
Yeah, we can get past that.
Definitely.
We'll be okay.
And Hill Wildcats. Definitely. Go ahead, Willie.
You guys have a good one, and hope next week we'll talk about another victory.
Definitely so. Hey, thanks for calling, Willie. Good to hear from you another week, man, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right. Have a good night. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. Call in to the HillWildcats.com X's and O's show. Let's talk Wildcat football. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. Huge shout out to Miss Cadet and the good people here at Joy 106.3 FM for allowing us to air the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show.
Well, I don't know that people from a contemporary perspective understand what a great player Willie Jackson was, but he would have been a great coach. He was a coach on the football field. He really was.
Gotcha.
He saw things. You know, the strength of our team right now defensively is in the secondary and our safeties. And Willie was that last line of defense. He was a big-time safety, good size, a ferocious hitter. No one, you would not even think that Willie Jackson could hit the way that he hit, but he was a lot like we talking about Deshaun. Whenever he was around, you didn't want to be standing around. I'm telling you, you know, it just blew me away because he had this build about him. He just looked like he wasn't. A hitter, but let me tell you, every bit of that 6'3" he brought to the party, and he would absolutely tag you. He was that kind of a ball player. In the back end, he's what held that ball club together for us. He was the last line of defense. He was such a good player. And listening to him now, he knows the game well. He would have been a great
Well, you
coach.
could tell he knows the game.
He would have been a great football coach. There's no doubt about it. He's a no-nonsense guy.
At all.
He's got Wesley Moore running all through him. He tells you what he feels.
Right. Caller, you're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you.
Just one question. Do you guys think that what happened a couple years ago, taking into consideration COVID and everything that the university has gone through, do you think the setback of that has continued to haunt this program?
That's a great question, but COVID affected a lot of programs. And I know some of them didn't have like all the way the setback that we had, but you know, we were struggling some before COVID even hit. So we have to look at that point also and not just like hang our hat on COVID.
Well, I'm not talking about COVID in general. Due with the loss of scholarships, whatever scandal went on at the time, the football program took a major hit. And once a program take a hit like that, it's hard to kind of get your feet back up under you. It takes several years to make the transition back to the level of play that you guys once was at. I'm an Alabama State guy. My wife graduated in Alabama State. I graduated in Alabama State. My son's on the team. So to me, I think the situation has kind of, you know, put a real damper on the program as a whole. And I'm just trying to see, do you guys think they'll be able to come out of this?
You know, my opinion. I think the biggest effect on the program is we made the big change in our athletic department when we were coming out of COVID, and we brought a lot of new people in that just wasn't familiar with what had occurred a year earlier. And
right.
and they played catch up then because they wasn't familiar, and I think they still playing catch up. Now, I think if we would have had our team in the athletic department in 2020, and by now I think we would have been back to where we were.
Yeah, we lost a tremendous amount of stability in the administration of athletics during that time, and I think that was the one thing that Bethune-Cookman had that nobody else had. We had more consistency. The longest serving term athletic director of anybody in HBCU. So we had consistency across the board. That infrastructure was so critical to the success of all the programs that Bethune-Cookman had in athletics, not just for football, but we were perennial baseball champions. As an Alabama State grad, you know that not only did Brian Jenkins come from Bethune-Cookman, but Mervell Melendez our successful baseball coach, and his assistant coach, who is now the head baseball coach at Bama State right now. They were all at Bethune-Cookman as well. So for Bama State to tap into Bethune-Cookman, they had the resources, the money to do that. But they went to a program that had success in two sports, football and baseball. We lost all of that, and we still have not overcome that right now, because what we have, in our administration for athletics right now still has not connected. Right. And I think that's a major point of emphasis.
Right. And I get it. All good programs going to have stumbling blocks. You can't be on top forever. And you're going to have to go through a period of rebuilding and trying to get a new foundation, as, if you would. However, I hear a lot of people saying, the coaches. But last year, if I'm not mistaken, these guys only had 30 days to get a football team ready for a season.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And especially guys that never been into that program.
Yep.
So, that's a lot to try to get a football program that it takes years to build to try to live on the same level of play that previous teams have had.
Exactly.
So it's a great challenge for that, but yet and still we have to be patient.
I understand patience, but in this day and time, with the young men that are playing college football, it has to happen right now. Unfortunately, it's just what it is.
So now that if you go through another coaching change, and I'm saying I have no dog in this fight. If you go through another coaching change, what is what's the outcome? They're going to be another couple of years trying to get a program back together. I know guys want to win now. That's the name of the game. What have you done for me lately? That's throughout all the college. If you're not winning, it's time for a change. However, but at what point do you say, I know we had some rough times. COVID this year, hurricane. It's been a whole lot of little things that have kind of contributed to help setting this program back. So I'm just trying to see, do we stick it out or do we ask for a change?
I think that's an excellent question, and I don't think that we probably can answer that until the end of the season, because in as much as we've had some challenges, we got to see continuous improvement. Because if you're not seeing improvement, then you're saying that you're okay with mediocrity. And you know what?
Right.
We aren't. We're nowhere close to being satisfied. So if we continue to see improvement, then okay, we'll agree with you. But if not, then it's time for a change.
Okay. Good deal. Well, thanks for having my call.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Great questions, and we hope to hear from you again. Thank you for calling in the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. We have time for a few more calls. 386-868-3411. We're talking Wildcat football.
Gentleman really had some great questions.
He did. Definitely did.
It was well thought out.
He did, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was thinking as he was talking and remembering how well Alabama State's program was back in the days of Houston Markham, who came into Alabama State and built a nice little dynasty. In fact, the current coach, Eddie Robinson Jr., played for Houston Markham, and they were the toast of black college football back in the day out of the SWAC. They went up against our champion at the time from the MEAC, North Carolina A&T, with Alan Hooker, who was a great football player. If that name sounds familiar, his son, Hendon Hooker, is the quarterback at University of Tennessee. And that Bama State team finished the season as national champions in black college athletics. And they had a really good ride there, and then no sooner than they had risen to the top, like anything else, change comes. And Coach Markham, a few years later at Bama State, having built a successful program that had fallen on some hard times. Who knows why? But he was shown the door, And so you have to. I've always said this: if coaching is your job, if teaching is your job, whatever your job is, if you don't hone your skills and stay on top of the cutting edges of things, you're going to fall by the wayside. It's very hard to stay on the pinnacle. You can get there, but can you stay there?
Jimbo Fisher.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can get $90 million.
Yes, sir. And they really.
You can get $90 million. You can get $90 million. I often think, every time I see something about Jimbo, I'm thinking, I sure hope he's sending Jameis some money, because he wouldn't really get without Jameis.
Right, definitely. Caller, you on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Vernon Jackson from Palm Beach.
Oh, the guy who bails CC out all the time.
That old 84 graduate.
My classmate. How you doing, classmate?
Turn it off, Daryl.
I'm doing fine. Wait a minute. I got to feel a love. It's my classmate.
Unfortunately.
We got another number for you to call in on. CC, what's your cell number?
You mean to tell me I got to come up to Daytona?
Yes, sir.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do, classmate.
I hear you.
Don't expect CC to pick you up, man. It's too much diesel. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
I got a chance to watch the game towards the end, and I noticed what I heard. They had a brawl. Did any of the players get suspended from their game?
We had 8 players dismissed for this next week, and they had 6.
Is any of those key players that got suspended?
Couple.
Yes.
So why were they fighting?
Only they can tell you that.
It was something that transpired
last year.
From last year, from the Mississippi Valley team. But we started the game as a team, and then we finished the game as a team. We went to the locker room as a team also. So we'll just leave it right there. But we had some players miss. We have some players missing, but I think it woke our guys up. You never like fighting, but
okay.
It was a band of brothers. We'll just say it like that, a band of brothers, and we hope to get those guys back next week for homecoming. The majority of them. So yeah, definitely so.
You like to get powerless perspective from
praying and look for the bright lights, and that's what we have to do.
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
It is.
And hopefully it's the good light and the right light. But let's just keep praying for our team and Ralph.
Yes, sir.
And Larry, y'all please look out for my classmate and you, Daryl.
I appreciate that.
This is a gospel station. I can't lie. I ain't gonna do it.
If you don't do that right, the Lord gonna get y'all.
There you go.
He already got us. He put us in his presence. He already got us. We gotta put up with him.
Classmate, there's nothing you can do with him, man. Just pray for him.
So hopefully I get a chance to see y'all face to face during homecoming.
Yes, sir. We look forward to it. Spot 77, the Hill Wildcats tailgate spot. Come and see us.
Do you get spot 77? Huh?
We'll talk to you next Thursday and make sure you're there, so you can come babysit CC.
But anyhow, y'all have a nice
day. Hey, you too. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Hill Wildcats. Good hearing from you, sir. All right. We got time for one more call. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. Mr. Aldridge, if you want to get in, Got time for one more. 386-868-3411. Do you ever want to? You ever thought about fighting us, CC, or anything like that?
No, not really.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. It's not that.
I didn't think so.
It's not that bad. No.
You always have your little feel good food before the show.
I definitely do that. That's the only way I can put up with it.
I tell you what, I wish the audience could have been here around 8:00 when Mr. Wesley wasn't here.
Boy, he was
and saw him. I thought we were going to have to call the emergency.
You ain't joking, man.
Boy, he's about to have a heart attack.
He in hog heaven right now.
Gotta love my frat brother, man. Gotta love him.
Boy, when Larry called and said, open the door.
Boy, he almost ran through the door here in the studio. We was going to have to replace the door. Caller, you're on the Hell Wildcats Exit and Old Show. Welcome.
Hey.
How's it
Finally
going?
Finally got through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How we doing tonight?
It's a busy switchboard. Busy switchboard here. Good. How about yourself? How's it going?
I'm doing good. It's Marcus checking in. I told her I had to make sure I get a call in. Talk a little bit of football.
Yes, sir. Definitely. What you got for us? I know it's a lot. We've been over here looking at the comment section.
Yeah. I mean, my first thing I want to say, I know Ralph, he's preaching that don't turn the ball over for the quarterback. But as an analyst, the OC got to help the quarterback and the offensive line. The offensive line is struggling. He definitely got to get some slants, some screens, some jet sweeps. He got to be able to call the right plays for the quarterback and for the O-line. That's the main thing there. I mean, we can do something different. It would definitely throw the defense off, and I haven't seen nothing different yet. I mean, I did see a little flare out to Bird last game. That worked, but we got to definitely switch it up, get some motion going, get the offense. I mean, Jaden is a tremendous athlete. I mean, he can definitely use his legs, but if you just throw a little bit of razzle-dazzle in there, offense would definitely be dangerous. Definitely got to get Kamari, split him out wide like we did last year. I don't understand why we're not doing that this year. Last year, he used to be a wide receiver, one-on-one coverage. I mean, why are we not doing that this year that much? I mean, you see what happened last game, one-on-one, he got the touchdown. OC really got to help us. I mean, to my understanding, he's an experienced OC. But I mean, what he's calling right now is not showing too much experience to me. I mean, I don't know if it's a new conference, but he definitely got to bring in a little bit more to help the offense. As far as defense, I'm a defensive guy. I was at Cookman back in 03, 04. Defense is the heartbeat of the Wildcat football. And right now,
yes, sir.
we don't got the identity of a defense. I remember with Bags and Travis Rowland and Bobby Williams, we had vocal leaders on defense. I don't see that this year. I haven't seen that last year either. I think the last time we had a real vocal leader, I want to say in 19 when we had Merritt and James, the linebacker number 31.
Yeah,
Devin James. The vocal leaders.
And Trevor.
So we definitely missing that key opponent. And our defense, we can be much better. But again, the DC as well as OC, we got to understand our personnel. We got to know how to stack that box on defense, bring a safety down, or bring an extra linebacker in because they're going to try to run the ball. I mean, we got everything that we need. We just got to be able to put the players in the right position.
Definitely so. Great assessment. Great assessment. And we have to be able to make those adjustments and do it. And, it changes ball game.
That's one thing Yogi did. Yogi made those adjustments.
Yes,
early,
he did.
Not late. He made it early.
Definitely so.
He's going to take away what you wanted to do.
Right.
And he was going to make multiple adjustments at halftime. Whatever you did to hurt us in the first half, you won't hurt us the second half.
Right. And you got to understand, we're undersized on the line. Everybody knows Cookman's undersized.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do to help the undersized lineman? Okay, we're going to slant. We're going to slant one way, or we're going to twist. We're going to stunt, or we're going to sack the box. We got to bring the pressure. I mean, I'm an analyst. I analyze every Cookman game this year, and we have yet to do any type of difference on that D line. We brought a little pressure here and there, but I mean, we got to stay consistent. Definitely. I mean, I agree with. I think Ralph said we can run man to man. I mean, we did try to run man to man.
No.
CC.
That was CC with the man to man.
I agree.
That was CC with the man to man.
Yeah.
My thing was stunts, slants, and all that other stuff.
Well, we could do the man to man if we can bring the pressure.
Yeah,
and
that was my point.
I think we do have the athlete to play man to man, but you can't play man to man for a whole 20 seconds. I mean, that's a long time to be a man to man. You got to get the pressure to the quarterback.
Right.
So that's something we got to definitely bring. We have been lacking that since early this year, but we definitely got to bring some type of pressure, get to the quarterback. Can't just you just can't stay on that 4-2-5 all game, and then try to go to a 3-5-5, but you're still not bringing no pressure. That's not really helping.
Right.
And the other thing, caller, one of the things Bethune-Cookman has been known for through the years is defense.
Yes.
Defense, and we're just not there yet. We got the athletes, and everything you said thus far is correct.
I think the last awesome DN we done had was Marquise Ford, and after that,
we had LeBrandon.
Just disappeared.
He was before. Before Ford.
The DN play has really disappeared. I don't know what happened, but we definitely got to get back to it because that was our main focal point. Is the DN. I mean, from Ryan Davis, Deron Dye, LeBrandon Richardson, CV Baggs to the linebackers. I mean, we had it. And defense, offense can't do nothing with us, and that's the missing piece right now.
Definitely so. Yep. Definitely. Well, Marcus, we thank you for calling, man. We look forward to hearing from you again, not just in the comment section, but live on.
I mean, I wish I could make it to the game, but I actually coach football here in Palm Coast, so we in the playoff right now. So we got a game this week, and then next week, then we go to the Super Bowl. So I won't be able to make to none of the games, but I still be watching it.
Good deal, man. Best of luck in your games, man. Go win it all.
Hell Wildcats.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Hell Wildcats. Have a good night.
Wildcat.
Closing words, guys. Ralph, we'll let you take it away first.
I think the caller really just said it all. I thought that was a tremendous analysis of where we are and what we need to do, and I really don't have anything to say because he said it all.
Yeah, very studious observations there by the caller. Obviously played for the Wildcats, and everything he said makes a lot of sense. That we did see a couple of times in practice this week some twists. Mm-hmm. They were practicing in the fronts, and so we'll see if that manifests itself to the football field this week. But he's so right. When you're undersized, you've got to, you got to use speed. You got to get off blocks. You got to slant. You got to create havoc. But your run fits have got to be there. If you're slanting, somebody's got to fill that gap you vacated. So you got to have gap integrity. And I think he said it all in that regard. Mm-hmm. We got to get more. I thought our two defensive ends last year were seasoned football players who played well. For us, we didn't have the depth, but they played fairly well. They were not on the caliber of the players he mentioned.
Right,
right.
But
we got to kind of get back to that, and that's something we're missing. We don't have the dominant defensive rush edge ends, and nor do we do a great job of containing. So those two things right there hurt you badly in that regard, and you got to show something different. Can't stay in that same front forever. You got to come out and show something different. Good offensive coordinators will break you down.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, I think all the callers have really been on point tonight. To be honest, when you break down the Wildcat offense and defense, we got a lot to overcome, but I think we can do it this week.
Definitely. Our Wildcats facing the Prairie View Panthers this Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. Prairie View's homecoming. Let's go win this thing, bring it back home, have a great homecoming week coming up, and we look forward to a great contest this Saturday and get us back, keep us on the winning track, rather, for Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. Larry Wesley, Mr. CC Cruse. I'm your host, Coach Darold Williams. Tune in next Thursday night, 8 p.m. on the HillWildcats.com X's and O's show. Hill Wildcats.
Hill Wildcats.
Hill Wildcats.
Hill Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater.